How to fill out Form I-864 Affidavit of Support 2025 Step-by-Step Guide for CR1 or IR1 and Family Green Cards. Hello everyone, this is the Swanberg channel. We share tips, how-to videos, motivational quotes, and vlogs. Thank you guys for subscribing to our channel. Disclaimer: before we start, I just want to share a quick note. In our case, my husband is my petitioner and his income is based on SSDI. This tutorial is based on our own experience filling out Form I-864. We're sharing it to give you ideas and help you learn. But please remember, this is for educational purpose only and not legal advice. Always follow the latest USCIS instructions for your own case. Are you filling out the I-864 Affidavit of Support and worried about making mistakes? In this video, I'll guide you step by step, part by part, so you can complete it correctly the first time. We'll cover who needs to file, how to calculate household size, income versus assets, and the role of joint sponsors. Let's get started. What is Form I-864? Form I-864, the Affidavit of Support, is mandatory for most family-based immigrants. It's how a U.S. sponsor promises to financially support the immigrant and make sure they won't rely on government assistance. Let's get started and fill out together. First, which version do you need? Most people use the standard Form I-864, but there are shorter or special versions like I-864EZ, I-864A, and I-864W. The EZ is only for petitioners sponsoring one immigrant using only their own income. And the I-864A is for household members who contribute income. And the W is exemptions like 40 Social Security quarters. Gather documents. Before filling out the form, gather these: your latest federal return and W-2s, proof of current income like pay stubs or an employer letter, proof of your U.S. domicile, and if using assets, things like bank statements, property deeds, or car titles. Always download the latest version of Form I-864 directly from the USCIS website. I'll show the website here on the screen. Only use Adobe Acrobat Reader on your computer. Using anything else can cause glitches that they'll get your form rejected. This is the Form I-864 that we used before. On the upper part, you can see Affidavit of Support Submitter. This section is for the USCIS to be checked. And now we start on the part 1. Like you can see here, it says start here. So in this form, you can see type or print in blank ink. Part 1. Basis for filing Affidavit of Support. Check the box that matches your role. Are you the main sponsor, a joint sponsor, or a substitute sponsor? Most people filing for their spouse or child are the main sponsor. Most sponsors are the petitioner. If your income isn't enough, a joint sponsor may also file their own I-864, or if the petitioner passed away, a substitute sponsor can file a petition. So in this part 1, I put the name of my husband and then I check the box on the 1.A, which is I am the petitioner. In the below of the part 1, you can see there is a note. It is say, if you are filing this form for a sponsor, you must include proof of your U.S. citizenship, U.S. national status, or local permanent resident status. Meaning is like, if you are the sponsor, the U.S. citizen filing for this I-864, you must provide the U.S. passport, U.S. birth certificate, or if you have a certificate of naturalization or certificate of citizenship. Part 2. Information about you, the sponsor. This part is about you or the sponsor. Include your personal details, status as a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, a proof of domicile. Remember, domicile means having real ties to the U.S. like job offer, lease, bank account, or voting record. In our case, I put the sponsor's full name, his last name, first name, and middle name. In the sponsor's mailing address, I put his home address. And then there is a question here in number 3. Is your current mailing address the same as your physical address? Our answer is yes, because we don't have a physical address. We only have this mailing address. And this part, other information, I'll put the country of domicile, which is USA, his birth date, his city or town of birth, the city of or province of birth, country of birth. Then I also put here the social security number of my husband. And then there's a question here, citizenship or residency. In 11A, I check the box, I am a US citizen. And the number 12 is sponsors A number. If you have, you can put. And number 13 is sponsors US online account number. If you have, you can put here. And then the number 14, there's a question here, if I am currently on active duty in the US Armed Forces or US Coast Guard. Our answer is no. I put the checkbox no. Part 3, information about the principal immigrant or the beneficiary. Part, you have to fill out the principal immigrant or the beneficiary, all the details like her name or his name, given name, or the middle name. Address, you have to put the beneficiary's mailing address because this application, the interview will be at the Philippines, so you have to put the beneficiary's name in the care of name. And then you have to put also her address in the Philippines where she lives. And the other information is also here, is like the citizenship. What is her citizenship? Is from the Philippines, her nationality, her birth date, and her phone number. You can see also here the alien registration number or the A number and the USCIS online account number. If you have these two, you can fill it out, but if you don't have, then just leave it blank. Make sure this information is matches to the DS-260. Part 4, information about the immigrants you are sponsoring. In this part, you have to list the principal immigrant and if any derivatives immigrating within 6 months. Each family member with a separate petition usually needs their own I-864. If there is derivatives, you have to enter each person's full name, date of birth, and relationship to you. It shows here family member 1, family member 2, or family member 3. In our case, since I am the only one who been sponsored by my husband, I don't have derivatives, so he only checked here yes. And the number 1 says I am in sponsoring the principal immigrant name in part 2, which is me. Part 5, sponsors household size. Now the trickiest part, household size. Start with yourself as 1, then add your spouse, children, or other dependents you claim on taxes, the immigrant you're sponsoring, and anyone else you're supporting with a pass DAS-864. Only add household members if they are contributing income and signing an I-864A. In our case, this is how I filled out. Persons you are sponsoring this affidavit. Number 1, provide the number you entered in Part 3, item number 29, which is I put 1, which is the beneficiary. Then another here is persons not sponsored in this affidavit, which is the sponsor itself. So that's why it says yourself. So you counted as 1, 2. So the total household size is 2. Part 6, sponsors employment and income. In Part 6, you have to list your current annual income. If you're employed, use your gross annual income. If self-employed, use your net income. Then add household member income with their I-864A. Compare your total income to the poverty guideline chart, which is 125% of the household guidelines or 100% if active duty military is sponsoring a spouse or a child. In our case, since my husband don't have a job, he is on Social Security and Disability, this is how we filled out Part 6. We skip number 1, 2, 3, 4 since my husband is not working, and then we only answer number 6. The question is unemployed since, so I put the date when he was got no job. Then I put the current individual income. his total individual income from his Social Security disability. And since my husband is alone, he don't have other household member, we skip this part, which is income you are using from any other person who was counted in the household size. We skip all this part. And the next page is also the continuation of the part 6, is sponsors, employment, and income. This one is number 20. We also here write the current annual household income of my husband. The same with the number 7. Then to number 23.a, which is the federal income tax return information, there is a question there. Have you filed a federal income tax return for each of the 3 most recent tax years? Our answer is no, since my husband is exempted for paying taxes. In part 6, if the sponsor is employed, you have to put here you're employed as what and the name of the employer, and then you have to put your current individual income too. And then you have to put also here the if you're paying taxes, you have to click the box yes, and then after that you have to put also the 3 most recent year that you're paying taxes. 25, I put X because I was not required to file federal tax since my husband is on Social Security, so we put check here. Part 7, use of assets to supplement income, optional. In this case, if your income isn't enough, you can add assets like savings, property, or a car with no loan. The rule is assets must equal 5 times the shortfall or 3 times if you are a U.S. citizen sponsoring a spouse or a child, or 1 times if adopting an orphan. This is how we filled out this part. Since my husband is not working, we put number 1, his assets, which is the savings and checking account. Number 2, the cash value or real estates. We blank it because we don't have that. Then number 3, enter the net cash value of stocks, bonds, or certificates. Since my husband he had to put this the amount. And then number 4, you have to add together the savings account and the stocks and bonds, so you have to put the total here on number 4. And the other item here, assets from form I-864A, from part 4, we skip that until number 8 because it's not applicable to us. And the next page is the continuation of the part 7, use of assets to supplement income. Number 9 and 10, we just leave it blank because it's not applicable to us. Then part 8, sponsors contract, statement, contact information, declaration, certification, and signature. In this part, you have to read the certification, meaning the penalty section, why you have to write this form -864, what's the reason why you're signing this, and what are the consequences. In this part, you have to write the contact information and you have to put the signature. For USCIS filings, you need an original ink signature in black. For NBC upload scan version with all 12 pages, even the blank ones. I remind you again, in this signature with the sponsor, you have to use a pen or a wet inks because USCIS won't accept the type signature. Part 9, interpreter's contact information, certification, and signature. If you have interpreter on your case, you can write his full name, signature here, and contact information. But in our case, we leave this part blank since we don't have interpreter. Part 10, contact information, declaration, and signature of the person preparing this affidavit if other than the sponsor. If you filled out by yourself, leave this blank. Part 11, additional information. Part 11, use this section if you need more space to provide information. Just a reference to correct the part and the item number. In our case, we don't have, so we just leave it blank. That is how we filled up our affidavit of support I-864. If your case is in consular, upload to CAAC portal. If you're adjusting status, include the signed I-864 in your AOS packet. Always double check using the latest form edition. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't use outdated form or leave parts blank if necessary. Make sure all names and the social security number and information are correct. Double counting in household size. Forgetting IDAS 864A for household income. Using the wrong poverty guidelines. Not proving U.S. domicile. Don't forget the required signature. Unsigned forms are rejected. And remember to use a wet ink or pen in signing your IDAS 864 form. That's the complete walkthrough of Form IDAS 864 Affidavit of Support, how we filled it out. Check the description of official links of the USCIS for the IDAS 864 form and the poverty guidelines and some related videos. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe for more CR1 and IR1 visa tips, and if you have questions, just comment down below. Thank you and God bless.